I saw some people saying it would be an insult to have the leader of opposition be different from the Secretary General. I actually think that shouldn't be the case. It would be damn weird if they say, he's gone against the Constitution, then Jamus is like, you know what? I'm the new leader.
50 years old, I'm ready.
It's a bit weird that the PM can just strip the opposition leader like that.
Yeah.
And that is something that I was actually quite surprised. Oh, actually, a lot of people have felt that way.
I mean, the name Board of Peace.
It's damn gross lah.
The name literally sounds like the people who join are bored of peace lah. They want war. If it gives Singapore the year of Trump and gets us a better position in negotiations, Gan Kim Yong won't just fly to the US and not get his meeting. He will get his meeting lah.
Yeah, you can imagine Gan Kim Yong going to Lawrence Wong and Vivian, bro, I really fucking tired lah. Okay, I go US. 20-hour flight, I just damn tired. I go there, never get anything. Please, please, bro. As Singapore reflects on SG60 and embarks on the next 60 years of nation building, it's a good time to ask some harder questions. Are we truly multicultural, or are we just good at coexisting? What does unity actually look like in reality? Not just written on paper or talked about. In 𝘕𝘴𝘵𝘀 episode 764, we speak with Amalina Nasir, a youth leader whose journey took her from a madrasah education to a mainstream university and eventually into leading community-wide programs centered on mentorship, social capital, and support networks. Drawing from her lived experiences, she reflects on what it means to grow up visibly different in Singapore, to navigate identity in unfamiliar spaces, and to keep choosing bridge building over retreat. If you care about where Singapore is headed in future and what it will take to hold us together, this is a conversation worth listening to. This episode was done in partnership with the Singapore International Foundation as part of ongoing conversations about Singapore's cultural identity. The link to the episode is in the description below, so please go check it out. And now, on to the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 𝘕𝘴𝘴𝘁, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
How has the week been, man?
It's been a pretty crazy week in terms of news, right? Things going on around the world, and stuff we're going to talk about and all. But other than that, okay lah. I mean, we squeezed in playing pickleball again on Monday. It was fun. Yeah. And I think you made a very big decision with regards to pickleball recently, right? Yeah. Which you intimated to me, almost as serious as telling me you're about to get married.
Which is what?
Announcing that you are actually going to buy a pickleball racket.
I think so. I think I've caught the bug already.
Why is it such a big deal to buy a racket for you? Why can't you just buy one to try out? How come you have to go through so much thought, almost like you're choosing girlfriend or choosing a wife like that?
I mean, I just mentioned it to you in passing lah. Okay, I didn't pull you aside saying, Terrence, I have a big announcement to make. I'm going to get a pickleball paddle.
It felt momentous the way you stopped in the lift. You're like, I think I'm going to get a pickleball bat. And then I'm like, whoa, I have not heard that admission from.
No, because I won't deny that. I've always been on the fence. Okay, pickleball, everybody playing it. I just. But after playing it a few times and seeing that, actually, it's a fun thing, and after you see YouTube videos and all on how to get better and all, it's like a challenger.
So your issue was just that a lot of people are playing.
Yeah, that's one big issue.
Just wanting to be special. That's the thing for you.
Yeah, I won't deny that. Anytime too many people are doing one thing, I'm like, fuck this lah. Okay, no.
So basically, to me it was like, just get a freaking paddle already.
No, if I don't need to buy a paddle, I'm not going to buy a paddle. Okay, I don't
it's the price of entry. It's the price of entry. You need a paddle to play. Rather than keep relying on people to lend you one, right?
No, I mean, if there are paddles to be used, courtesy of other people, I know. Yeah. But getting a paddle is still a cost lah. If I don't need to spend, I won't spend lah.
Picky, very picky.
Yeah, no.
Indecisive Let's say quite indecisive.
There's this consumerism, Terrence. There's always wanting more, always wanting your stuff and all. No, it's fine. I'm fine with the communal acts of sharing, Yeah. So if someone in future they want to use my paddle and all, it's fine. Of course, don't scrape it on the ground and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all part and parcel. If you don't need more stuff, don't get more stuff.
It's funny because we talk about communal act of sharing all that, but pickleball is becoming a very exclusive sport, right?
It is.
It is, right? Even the place we played was very chichi.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting GCB owners or newly minted millionaires opening new courts at, Trifecta and things like that.
I mean, the chichi place was not like our choice.
But I'm just saying that I realized we're being exposed to a lot more all these chichi areas in Singapore that I didn't even know existed or had pickleball courts or anything right?
Yeah, and we heard also from someone who competes and all. She was saying that the price of entry is also going up a lot. So I mean, in some way, if it's bringing more people to the sport, then you always have the stratification. But then hopefully more courts available. The silent pickleball, that one I don't know. I don't know whether it'll catch on.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Yeah, you are adding to the stratification or inequality in society.
How? Who is the one who immediately wanted to get his own pedal, don't want to share, don't want to bond? No, I use my own pedal, nobody else uses my pedal. That is stratification, Terence.
Okay.
That is stratification. Always saying, I got a good deal during Black Friday. Oh, you didn't get a good deal. Too bad. Too bad.
I pinged everyone to let them know the deal was happening. Everyone ignored me. Then now all give me this, you got for so cheap. I'm like, that's on you all. And then now you're complaining, expensive. It was cheap for a moment.
Don't you rub it in our face, okay? Don't you rub it in our face. We know, okay?
Well, welcome to the Normal People Club where, there are costs to, take on new activities and stuff like that.
Yeah. But then you bought them early. I think you played once, you're like, I'm going to get it.
I'm a full commitment kind of guy. Like if you want to do something, just try and do it well. Try it. Just try.
Yeah, but first, so for me, I'm a bit more measured, Terence. I'm not that impulsive.
Fucking indecisive. That's why it took so long to get married.
Hey, don't play that game. That was uncalled for, man. Uncalled for. What if my wife listens to this? What if my wife listens to this? Then
she'll agree, She'll agree. Obviously, she'll agree. I say this with confidence only.
There was a little thing called COVID, okay, that delayed some shit. For context, please.
Yeah.
So apart from a good week. Good week, man. Good week.
Yeah.
We're back talking to about the news.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, even what we talked about is very related to stuff we're going to talk about on the podcast.
Is it?
The pay to play, basically.
Oh, pay to play.
Correct.
Pay to play. The stratification.
Yeah, correct.
But before we move on to that topic, we have almost like the second chapter in the topic we covered last Thursday. Our Snap podcast, our special episode, where we talked about what happened in Parliament regarding the motion to consider Pritam unsuitable to carry on as leader of opposition, which was passed.
Yeah.
I think we recorded Thursday morning, and by Thursday evening, one of our predictions came true that Lawrence Wong stripped Pritam of the position of leader of the opposition, but invited the WP to nominate someone else.
Yeah.
I know people were dying for an episode on Friday, but that special episode was just a early episode. But now we're back to talk about it because the more recent development is appeared in the news that, of course, the WP has put out a media statement that they're considering the invite from Lawrence Wong and will reply in due course. But also, it's been made public that the disciplinary panel that WP has convened to investigate Pritam Singh comprises 𝘠𝘧 James Lim, and former MP Peng Eng Huat. So was that surprising when you heard the news?
It's which news was surprising talking about? The disciplinary panel, the makeup of the panel.
Yeah, I mean you can talk about the first one also.
Okay, I mean the Lawrence Wong thing, maybe we can talk about it, but I think in terms of the makeup of the panel, I think it actually gives a lot of clues as to what direction we're headed to for, to hopefully see the end of this saga as well, right? It gives you a lot of clues about what's happening. And we had to build on and dissect what other people have also put out there in the social media, right?
Yeah.
But for you, were you very shocked by this?
I mean, not shocked, but the only thing that was surprising is normally whenever you read the news about something that the WP has announced, if you go to their Facebook page or website, you can see a media statement or press release.
Yeah.
But in this case, couldn't find anything. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think so. I went to the Facebook, I went to their website, couldn't find any formal announcement of the makeup of the CEC. Because they did announce the CEC being formed on January 3rd. with no mention of who is on the CEC. The last time there was a CEC convened for a big issue was on Raisa Khan, and we all know it was Pritam, Faisal Manap, and Sylvia Lim on that disciplinary panel.
Wait,
not CEC, sorry.
Not CEC.
Not CEC, sorry. Oh, I take that back. Not the CEC. The disciplinary panel. The last time it was formed on something that made the news was for Raisa Khan.
Yeah.
And it was Pritam, Faisal Manap, and Sylvia Lim. So in this case, when they announced it, I was like, okay, normally I wouldn't imagine it being disclosed so openly. So I'm wondering where this news came from. So that was the thing.
Did the article say it's from party sources?
Oh yeah, party sources. But who are these party sources?
Okay.
And is it unofficial? Which also is a clue to you can speculate on.
Yeah. But when you're going through the Facebook account of Workers' Party, doesn't it feel like it's a love fest?
Oh yeah, it is.
Hashtag we continue.
Yeah.
Then like so many group photos of the all the cadre, the senior members of the cadre, including Loh Tia Kiang, who seems to be doing a lot more like walkabouts these couple of weeks, right?
Yeah. And a lot of photos of them standing, in unison.
Yeah. The angle of the photo very specifically also, like the way people are posing, almost seems like a very concerted effort to. Like this is
solidarity
that they're expressing, right?
Yeah, I mean even photos with constituent members, residents, Singaporeans. I mean it all started when I think it was the day after the motion was passed.
Yeah.
There was a video they put out with hashtag we continue.
Yeah.
Which was in their typical, quite slick style.
Yeah.
And focusing on a new hashtag. I think every time they got something contentious, they think of a hashtag.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why I do.
Last time was Step Up, right?
Step Up. Yeah. Not that. But I think they didn't really, it wasn't really, built on much during the election. Like Step Up.
Oh, I thought it was like during the rallies and all.
I thought it was primarily after his conviction and everything. And then after that, but then when it came to the actual election itself, I thought it was like, was it working for Singapore or something like that?
Maybe it wasn't front and center, but I do recall Step Up. But yeah, it is part of their branding,
Yeah, but I also just highlighting that maybe part of it is that they don't want to focus on the negative aspects of what's been in the news for the last couple of weeks, right? Because even like Jamus Lim, on one hand you talk about him on disciplinary panel, just today actually, or the day yesterday, he is celebrating his 50th birthday. So there's like photos of him and all, the big 50 balloon numbers, celebrating with his at his MPS session and things like that. He's just having a good time, man. He's not like thinking about disciplinary panel and all these things, right?
His most recent post is like, him debating Tan See Leng in Parliament. Then you scroll down, it's him holding the 50 balloon.
So yeah, the Workers' Party is just moving on with life, and we read a lot into it, but maybe for them it's not something that they want to focus on, right?
Yeah. So what does that tell you then?
I guess it kind of. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at the composition of the disciplinary panel, right? I mean, there's ☞ and Jamus Lim, who are two-time. They've run in 2 elections. I mean, obviously the 2020 Sengkang was the big one where Jamus and team came out, right? And then Peng Eng Huat, who has stepped down from politics that same year, 2020 as well.
But he was an MP for Hougang for 8 years.
For Hougang for 8 years, senior party member.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting. I think this composition of this disciplinary panel is interesting because it does not include the 2 more senior people who are supposedly in the running for leader opposition based on seniority. There's Gerald Giam, who is essentially the longest serving politician out of the remaining candidates, and Dennis Tan, right? Who retained Hougang in 2020 after Peng Eng Huat himself retired, right? So the fact that the 2 of them are not part of this panel, when they are also the 2 most senior outside of all the people who are not eligible, tells you that maybe they might actually be in consideration or something for this so-called leader of opposition position, right?
Yeah.
And to avoid the appearance of impropriety, those the disciplinary panel is formed by people who maybe are not in consideration for leader of opposition.
Yeah.
That's what I could read it as.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. Because it would be damn weird if they say, he's gone against the constitution, then James is like, you know what? I'm the new leader.
50 years old, I'm ready.
Ooh, I'm ready. That would be too weird. It would be too weird, and doesn't feel like there's enough of like cracks happening within the WP to allude to that.
Wow, 50 years old, you become leader of opposition.
Wow, what a banger year for him. What a banger year.
You can't script this stuff. But yeah, I do see that as like Workers'
indication
Party. Yeah, kind of like, it's telling you, I think they know that they have to avoid any appearance of favoritism or impropriety, not only to the PAP or the public, but even to within their own party.
Yeah.
Because it seems, according to some people, there is disquiet within the Workers' Party, right?
Yeah, I mean, even the 20 cadres who asked for a special cadre meeting, out of the 100 plus cadres, and I think the CEC of WP has said it will only come after this investigation by the disciplinary panel is done.
Yeah.
So, of course, people are speculating that, these are the old school cadres that feel the new makeup of WP is different, is losing its soul.
More already,
yeah. But I mean, like I can imagine in any group of people that goes past like 100 plus, there will always be divisions.
Yeah.
Be it companies, family, whatever, there will always be divisions. So that one, okay, not too surprising. But how does that make you think about like what happened last week with Lawrence Wong stripping Pritam of the title? And now with these recent developments,
I mean, you saw Lawrence Wong's statement, right?
Yeah.
I think when we discussed it in that episode about Parliament, we said that actually it would seem almost generous of Lawrence Wong if he stripped Pritam and then let the Workers' Party pick their next leader of opposition, right?
Yeah.
But maybe I spoke too soon, because I think a lot of analysts have also come forward, and not analysts, a lot of people have come forward and said that there is a possibility that Workers' Party just entirely rejects this, right? And says that they don't want to play this partisan politics game with this title of leader opposition. And that, I think that option is still on the table, right?
Yeah.
But they are going at it at their own pace, which is after the disciplinary panel, which could take up to 3 months, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Lawrence Wong did end off saying, I hope to, hear from WP soon. And he did say that this is an important role. This important position does not remain vacant for too long. But then you don't feel that this still makes Lawrence Wong come across as generous? Because what the WP responded with, what analysts are saying about how they should respond, doesn't take away from this act by Lawrence Wong.
I would kind of say that, Lawrence Wong, I think the post, they were quite careful to not have a tone where they're really scolding Pritam Singh here. I would say, in fact, like you read the second paragraph of what Lawrence Wong said, he, essentially the whole point about how Pritam Singh was still maintaining his own innocence and, that he answers to his conscience versus what the High Court judgment was. I think Lawrence Wong essentially said the legal outcome is final and conclusive. It must be respected and given full effect in determining his suitability to continue as the LO. So quite restrained there from Lawrence Wong, I would say, right? And still saying that, we are making this decision based on what the court said, in spite of whatever Pritam Singh is saying. But he stopped short of like what I think Indrani was saying in Parliament about Pritam Singh lying to the public and all that, right? So he stopped short of of making it sound very, very charged and very, very directed against the WP. So in some ways, I thought, this statement was very measured, and it's an interesting chess move, right?
Yeah,
from
but
the PAP side.
I think when you say second paragraph of Lawrence Wong, you must be more specific, because there were multiple forms of the same thing he said.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about the Facebook post that he made.
So there was his Facebook post.
Yeah.
Then there was the official statement on PMO, which kind of I think is very similar, if not exactly the same as the Facebook post. Then there is the letter to WP. Yeah. And then there is his Instagram post. So I think he probably wrote something, then told, potentially ChatGPT, can you help me customize for the different platforms? Because Instagram is just 4 photos, just scroll.
Oh, is it?
And it's summarize.
Okay.
So he's like, Parliament voted yesterday to express regret over Mr. Pritam Singh's conduct and to express his view that his conviction and conduct rendered him unsuitable, blah, blah. Then it's just in 4 very light things. The letter to the WP is the longest.
Yeah.
And in that, he also mentioned that the Parliament noted that the High Court judgment and findings of the COP have implications for Ms. Sylvia Lim and Faisal Manap and decided to consider this separately at a later date. But that was not really part of his statement on the PMO website, I believe. Right. So yeah, different context. But at the end of the day, the main message is that he invites them to nominate a new LO. Yeah. And I remember we were saying, it would make him look generous, but just looking at the responses online, right? I think the one thing that this has also made people think is like, it's a bit weird that the PM can just strip the opposition leader like that.
Yeah.
And that is something that I was actually quite surprised. Oh, actually, a lot of people have felt that way. Of course, I mean, speaking to some people who I would say are PAP supporters, they appreciate Lawrence Wong's stance, which is what we also said, that rather than just be very dogmatic about it and taking away the title, he's inviting someone to replace, which in some way, says this title is still important. But the netizens, internet, the Reddits, the chatters and all are all saying that, why play this game? It is so easily taken away.
Yeah. I mean, the vote there was a Yahoo poll about it. I think it's currently it's 78%. Do you agree with PM Wong's decision to remove Pritam Singh as LO? 78% voted no. So that's overwhelming majority, right? Yeah.
So I mean, that was interesting. And then people also bringing up that in other countries where there are leaders of oppositions that are also first world Western democracies like the UK and Australia, the leader of opposition role is enshrined. And it's part of constitution, and they also form their own shadow government and all.
Yeah.
And back in early 2000s, I think Low Tia Kiang was offered the unofficial leader of opposition title, which he rejected. And he said it's either official or nothing. Don't give me this half-baked thing.
Yeah.
But before that, Chiam See Tong had the unofficial role. I think the benchmark was who sits opposite PM. And Chiam See Tong did, then Low Tia Kiang did. And then if you look at the history of the leader of opposition, technically Lee Kuan Yew was the first leader of opposition.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he was. So this position, I mean, it has a very light history, but now that it's out there, and looking at all the analysts and reactions, what's your thought on how this could pan out?
Like I mentioned before, I think the Workers' Party will do it at their pace because they don't want to be seen to be pressured into making a very important decision, right? So they will wait for the disciplinary panel and even maybe their own special meeting of the cadres and everything that was called for the conference. But I mean, we talk about what we've seen on social media and commentators. I mean, Kelvin Cheng, he posted, and everyone should take this with a pinch of salt. He says that he's from a few sources within Workers' Party of how the WP now is used to be a very Chinese WP, Teochew based, but now it's Ang Mo Pai and very different. And the Chinese educated ones are very angry with the English educated cadres for pushing them out and, things like that. So you can read it, but always, remember that this is hearsay, right? Hearsay and not necessarily official, but essentially, he's saying that there's a power struggle within the Workers' Party between the Chinese educated or the English-speaking cadres, right? And it paints a very colorful image of very power struggle within Workers' Party, even though we saw in Parliament that overwhelmingly, they voted against the motion about Pritam's unsuitability. Right?
Under Pritam's eye.
Under Pritam's eye. He turned around and through eye checking all of them. And then Kelvin Cheng also pointed out that Eileen Chong, interestingly, was not present at that particular sitting, right? So I don't know, could be a stirring shit, But what do you think of when you read about theories like this?
I mean, I stand by what I said earlier about when any group of people that goes past 100, there will always be lines. I think that's inevitable. So when I read that, I'm like, okay, I can sort of see it. But again, taking it with a pinch of salt. I mean, Kelvin Cheng, widely seen as a PAP supporter, giving insider info on a WP dynamic. It feels also okay lah.
Yeah.
It's hard to take it at face value.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I saw quite a few sentiments online about how, the WP should not accept this role because it's a farce. And, they did well enough without the leader of opposition title to win those seats in 2020 before this title even existed. So they don't even need it. So what do you think about that sentiment?
I mean, I do look at the NCMP scheme, right? The non-constituency member of parliament. I think initially when it was introduced, also a lot of the opposition was against it. They were against it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people said that it's BS. It's just a token move, right? But now we see that the opposition, they are quite strategic in who they nominate for these roles, and it has become part of the strategy, right? Understanding that this is the system we work within. If it's a system that allows us to blood the newer members of the Workers' Party, like Andre Loh and Eileen Chong, why not? Might as well just use it, right? Because they could also say, we refuse to accept it. Then it ends up going to, nobody even feels their role. Not necessarily going to Chee Soon Juan or anything, just nobody feels their role.
Yeah.
But I think the Workers' Party has shown that, they adapt with the times and they understand, now this is the system, these are the cards that we have and we need to play with them. So for them to suddenly turn around and say, we completely reject this leader opposition role, I think also maybe a bit short-sighted. Yeah.
I thought we would have differing opinions on that also, but I also agree. I also agree. I can't say yala, but I mean, I also feel like, yes, because at the end of the day, there's one thing that you learn from the PAP, whether you like it or not, the way they have, the things all fell in place. It really felt like, wow, this is the machine at work, And I not to say it's unethical or something. You can look at it, they haven't done anything unethical, but you can see wow, this is the game of politics, and they are good at it.
Yeah.
So in this case, if the WP rejects the role, right, I think it will come back and bite them. It's like, the moment Pritam said on a podcast he doesn't want to be PM, right? Wow, it became like another, a taint. Do we really want a leader who doesn't want to become PM? If they reject the position of LO, then it also feels like there is this thing. Anything we want to enshrine in the constitution, it will take a while. We're not saying no, but you don't want, okay lor.
Yeah.
When we give you a chance to step up, when we give you a chance to continue, you reject it. So what more can we do? Right. And then the other thing, I saw some people saying it would be an insult to have the leader of opposition be different from the Secretary General. I actually think that shouldn't be the case. Because you can argue that the leader of opposition in Parliament is like the leader of the opposition house. Just like Indrani is the leader of the house for the PAP, but she's not Secretary General. In fact, having them separate, right, might be quite an interesting dynamic. Right. And I also feel like maybe you just send you can't send the NCMP, but one of the younger MPs. Because then you can think about the long term, right? It would definitely let that person understand Parliament. It's a big role to fill, but you want to talk about long term succession planning, why not?
But you say younger, you don't mean the first term NMPs, NCMPs or what?
But I don't think NCMP, they can be... actually, there's no rule.
There's no rule,
Send Andre fucking Loh.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, there's no rules, so we don't really understand.
Yeah, but I think...
but you say younger, meaning 𝘰𝘪𝑡ng or Jamus, is it?
But I think now with them on the panel, it'll be damn hard.
It'll be hard.
So it can't be one of the first term MPs. I think maybe for someone like Kenneth Tiong, too early.
cannot.
Too early, he'll be too angry.
Yeah.
But this position, I think then you play the game. Because at the end of the day, right, if you think about, at the end of the day, if this is politics, what will it impact the voter? If they reject it, some people online might be like, sticking it to the man, but for them, I think they feel shocked a few minutes and then after that they go on with their lives.
Yeah.
But politically, I think it'd be a bigger hit to the WP to not accept the role.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's a good point that if you frame it as something like more of a almost ceremonial role within Parliament, right? Like you go to a National Day parade or that, who's the one that is making all the soldiers fall in before the parade starts?
The CSM.
CSM, RSM, right? But after that, he hands over to the parade commander when shit needs to get done, right?
Yeah.
So in some way, if you look at it, that role, there can be two sort of two tiers of leadership which are, trust each other and work closely together.
Because
right?
Sylvia Lim is the chair person of WP, right? Pritam is the Secretary General. I think she's always been quite public saying, okay, there are two different roles. You would imagine that sometimes the chairperson would be the highest power, but no lah. So when people say it will be an insult, I don't think so.
Yeah, and maybe it is for them to actually fill the role of the leader of opposition, and after that have the leader of opposition put in a motion to really define what is the important position of the leader of opposition in our parliamentary democracy. Because they started, or at least Pritam Singh asked that question of Indrani, right, during during that in Parliament. He asked her, like, what briefings have been given to a leader of opposition and what trips has the leader of opposition gone for, right? And I mean, without any answer, I presume that the answer is no, based on that line of questioning. So maybe if Lawrence Wong himself in his statement is saying that this is an important position and cannot remain vacant, maybe the thing is to ask, like, what do you mean is an important position? Like, other than the money and the
additional
title,
time,
what else is required of this leader of opposition? And maybe it needs to be enshrined in the constitution that way, such that us as the general public also understand what exactly a leader of opposition is supposed to do, right? Because I think the idea of receiving briefings is that if some shit hits the fan, like Trump, does some destabilizing thing in our region, and then there's a secret, like confidential military briefing or something like that, then the Prime Minister will get briefed, but we would also expect that the leader of opposition maybe should get briefed as well, right? Just to understand what Singapore is going through at this moment. So if the leader of opposition doesn't get that, can we really say that his role is that important?
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, if they do file a motion, but Parliament rejects it, it'll be a political hit to the PAP also, right?
Correct,
so then the WP can play this game, as much as I hate to say that it's a game. At the end of the day, it's a game. And you play your cards right.
But I did want to ask you, because I've never been in that position before, but last time when you were captain of your hockey team, quite obviously you probably were not the best player, right? But you were still chosen as captain.
What gives you such conviction, Terence?
I mean, when I watch football, most of the time they choose like a very senior person, like who disciplinarian or whatever as the captain, right? But usually it's not the best player on the team. Like it's not Messi or it's not Cantona.
So Messi has been captain how many times already?
After a while. But usually like Roy Keane. He's obviously not the best player on Man U at that point in time. But everyone remembers him as the captain. Vieira also, and things like that. So in some sense, but for you, like, you can be a captain, but there can be still much better players around you, right? And that's okay, right? Does it hurt your ego? No, I'm asking that question. Is it an insult? Does it hurt your ego? Or do you just like accept it as this is my role?
Yeah, I think you accept it. Yeah, and I mean, like, I won't comment on my quality or skill. Okay, I'll leave it out there for other people who maybe I played with who are listening to this. But it is a role. And I mean, even on the pitch, there are different positions, right? There were people who were better at me at certain things, and I was better than them. But at the end of the day, it's a team, it's a role. So and I mean, when in school, sometimes it's just like a bit more. Of course, on the pitch, you want to just hype people up and all. But there's that admin side of it also, leading warm up and shit like that. Okay. So it's a role. It's a role.
Yeah. So maybe we think of it that way. Then maybe it's just really, it's not as insulting as people are painting it out to be, right?
It's not, what?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm sure you felt pride being the captain.
I did, of course. Right? And not to mention, it wasn't just my school team, Terence. There were multiple teams, including the age group team that I captained. So I'm just saying. Army team also, the combined schools team also. And, I mean, I will stop there. I'll stop there. But definitely got a lot of pride. Definitely got a lot of pride.
And you know it's a role, and it's not necessarily who's best or whatever, but you play that role well, and then you do it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Parliament sits once a month. So for those few days, you have like someone who's leading that is the leader of the opposition in Parliament. But the Secretary General of the party is a totally different thing.
Exactly.
So that's why it feels like it can be decoupled. Maybe it should be decoupled. Maybe that is something that should happen, because having too many people hold such a powerful role is also a big risk. And then suddenly they nominate someone at PAP, say Lawrence Wong say no. I can't even say PAP says no, because at the end of the day, it's Lawrence Wong's decision.
Correct.
So maybe that also might gain some momentum to really think about, okay, what are the requirements of leader of opposition apart from, having integrity?
Yeah. Sekali there has to be a motion on the suitability of the next on the next leader of opposition.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. And then it all becomes another drama show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, but I think like what you said, I think that's true. They probably won't rush into it, even though Lawrence Wong is pushing for it to be quick.
Yeah.
Because it would be weird if it's done before the disciplinary panel completes.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah, so I don't know. This will be an albatross hanging around the parliament's neck.
We'll see I mean, we'll see what James and 𝘠𝘪𝘠 and Peng Ing-Huat come up with. Harish and I just saw something shocking. Now, apparently, over 60% of viewers of this channel are not even officially subscribed. This has to be a mistake, right? We know you're out there because so many have come up to tell us how much the podcast means to them. So, how can we fix this? Do us a big favor and hit that subscribe button. It will mean a lot to us, and it's awesome to know that the 𝘨𝑚 community is only getting stronger every day. Thanks for listening. But I mean, not just the stuff happening, not just domestic politics dominating headlines. Our good friends in the US also, causing a lot of ripples around the world, of which Singapore is involved in many different ways as well. But what was the pay-to-play, for example, that we were talking about earlier?
It is related to the invitation that Singapore has received from the US to join Trump's Board of Peace, which I think the official stance on the MFA is that they are considering it.
Yeah.
I think back in October 2025, during a parliament sitting in response to a question, Vivian Balakrishnan, Minister for Foreign Affairs, said that they are not looking to be on any boards. They want to carry on doing what we do, which is, work quietly in the background and focus on what is best for Singapore.
Yeah.
And there's no lobbying to be on any board. But now Singapore has received an invite. But what do you understand about this Board of Peace? Because it's been talked about for quite a while already.
I think it's, from what I understand, it is supposedly to supervise the next phase of the Gaza peace plan. If I understood the 20-point plan correctly, I think Tony Blair was supposed to be involved, right? And my understanding is you get 3-year membership if you join, but to become a permanent member, you have to cough up $1 billion. There's a hilarious thing about it. When I heard billion, I was like, the first thing I thought of was like Dr. Evil, Austin Powers. Like $1 billion to join like this exclusive country club like that.
Yeah.
It's just really strange. And a lot of people are also speculating that it has larger ramifications even beyond Gaza, where essentially it could be Trump essentially trying to undermine the United Nations by creating a whole separate organization.
Yeah, to basically do what he feels the United Nations should be doing. Which is to, instill peace.
But you don't feel, the name Board of Peace.
It's damn gross.
I mean, it literally... The name literally sounds like the people who join are bored of peace. They want war. Yeah, I'm bored of peace.
I want a board of peace.
I want war. That's why I'm with the War Department here.
Oh, that's true. I mean, the thing is, this is the part of the official second phase of the Gaza peace agreement.
Yeah.
And we moved into the second phase on 14th January because this Board of Peace plan has been something that Trump has spoken about since last year. And like you mentioned, the name Tony Blair was floated. So in this case, it just feels like, what the hell is this? Like, Trump is going to be the founding chairperson.
Yeah.
And I think it's him as an individual rather than the president of the US.
Yeah.
So after his current term, because I can't imagine him changing the constitution and getting a third term, what happens? Is he still going to be... It's going to be his...
Him, And apparently it's up to him to manage the $1 billion from every member and all that. Yeah.
And then I think the most recent world leader who said no is Macron of France. And there was this clip of Trump responding to a reporter saying, what do you have to say to Macron saying no, he won't join? He said, did he say that? Well, I mean, nobody wants him anyway. He's going to be out in a few months. But then I'll just slap 200% tariffs on French wine and champagne and see if he wants to join, sure. If he doesn't want, but I don't think he should join because he will be out in a few months.
Yeah.
I think Norway has also declined.
Yeah.
Now Trump and Norway also got tension because he said Norway is in charge of the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, it was their fault. It's their fault.
It's their fault. But I mean, based on what I saw online, I think a bunch of countries have already confirmed their participation. Albania, Argentina, Armenia, Belarus, Canada, UAE, Uzbekistan, Vietnam. But a lot of the first world countries, other first world countries, not yet.
Yeah.
France and Norway have said no.
Yeah.
But
even China and Russia have been invited as well. China and Russia.
Yeah, China and Russia. Which is
supposedly enemies of the US and all that, right?
Yeah, which is very weird. And like, I mean, I think like, you know, this off the back of like Trump talking about Greenland and wanting to annex Greenland, it just feels like, I think we need to get used to Trump really going to the extreme in order to get what he wants, which is less extreme. Yeah, so in this case, it's so ridiculous that, I mean, I don't know how this is going to pan out also. Like, the $1 billion thing is just decided by him, right?
I'm not entirely sure who decides all these things, but it's quite clear that he wants to be the focal point of this whole board of peace.
Yeah. And it's also getting a bit more clear that this is not just for Gaza.
It's not just for Gaza.
It is peace in the world.
Yeah.
Because he, according, self-proclaimed that he ended 8 wars.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like a dig at the Nobel Peace Prize.
A bit, the board of peace. But I mean, there are people who say that, I think that we should join because, having a seat at the table is not better than not having one, right?
It's like the WP and the LO.
I guess so. But this is like, if the US is walking away from the United Nations as an organization, that US itself pushed and was instrumental in setting up this world order in the 1940s and all, like, if the US itself is walking away from it, like, maybe we should just make sure that as a small state, Singapore, we just have a voice in both organizations, not just the UN. Like, what are the downsides of what is the upside of saying no, right? Versus the downsides. You say no, then Trump will want to slap 200% tariffs on you, right? You say yes, but you don't pay the lifetime membership, then you'll be there for a short while, right?
But hearing you say that, is ridiculous?
Yeah. So and if he manages to get China and Russia on board, somehow maybe it could even move faster in resolving certain conflicts compared to like the United Nations Security Council, which is right now crippled every time because one of the member nations veto something, right?
Yeah. But then, I mean, like, I can see that, but then it almost feels like, okay, do you stand for like what is, the best short-term solution, or do you stand for the value of, standing up to the man and not encouraging this sort of behavior? I think it's damn hard for a lot of countries. Because, like what you say, if Singapore says no, like the first 3 years is free. It's trial membership, right? And by the end of 3 years, Trump would have ended his presidency. Who knows what the hell will happen then? But it feels like, okay, these 3 years, you join first, and after that, you want to pay $1 billion, maybe you 2 billion for 3 years. It's like, you're signing up for a subscription, right?
It sounds like the kind of thing
early bird.
You have to put your credit card details up front. And then it automatically trigger after the trial period expires.
Yeah, that's why. And there's so many softwares or apps out there that got lifetime access, right? You pay a bunch of... So I guess the disgusting thing is that it's so transactional and commercial. It's not even prorated to your GDP.
Correct.
Right.
So there's some countries that join obviously they're not going to pay $1 billion.
Yeah.
But they've already agreed to join. But here's the question, right? Like, do you feel that, Singapore, $1 billion obviously is a lot of money, but if it gives Singapore outsized influence, if it gives Singapore the year of, the Trump and gets us, a better position in negotiations with the US, right, for tariffs and things like that. It gets us, Gan Kim Yong won't just like fly to the US and not get his meeting. He will get his meeting. Actually, if you think about it, in that sense, $1 billion, is it very expensive? Is it really that expensive? It's a bit like joining a country club, right? You can do all the sums and like, what's the cost of a golf course, what's the cost of the shitty cafe food and things like that. But it's not about that. It's all about the people that you'll meet there and the kind of networks that you'll make and all that. Is 1 billion really that much money to ask for?
Yeah, you can imagine Gan Kim Yong going to Lawrence Wong and Vivian, bro, I really fucking tired lah, okay? I go US, 20-hour flight, I just damn tired. I go there, never get anything. Please lah, please, bro.
Yeah, 1 billion, we pay for this one. After that, they'll set up, US will set up data center in Pulau Tekong, be more than 1 billion.
I wanted to retire. You asked me to come back, though. You asked me to manage all this task force, and then now, please lah, bro, it's just $1 billion only. Just $1 billion.
But you think that there's
But that's the worrying part about how the world seems to operate now. It's all about the commercial, how much money can you give me? I mean, just a branch of the whole US empire now, right? The US embassy in Singapore also. Sending this letter to, it's the 250th year of independence of the US this year. Let's dream bigger, and for if you Singaporean and American businesses in Singapore can contribute larger amounts this year compared to last year, we can have a bigger celebration. But I mean, as a standalone, I don't think I have issues with that. It's just doing fundraising. Fundraising has been going on for fucking ages. But it just feels like the US reeks now of everything is money. Money. You don't do this, okay, slap tariffs on you. Then it becomes a calculation. And unfortunately, the US is so influential and powerful that when you do the calculation, it almost is better off kowtowing to them.
I mean, in some ways, the US has always been about money, right? It's just that they couch it behind democracy, free world and everything.
So this one is better. It's better.
Man, it's in some sense, there's the devil, is clearer, right? And actually, the US ambassador asking for a larger gifts thing, I actually didn't even think that it was that bad or anything, right? And it's completely, at least, I think it's quite normal, in the corporate world or even like non-profits and all, when they have end of year celebrations, they will ask vendors, partners to donate gifts that they can also, put in lucky draw and then give to their staff.
SG60 also.
SG60, all these things. So I didn't think actually this US ambassador asking for larger gifts was necessarily a bad thing. And they have come out and defended the action, saying that it's very normal, it's standard practice, right? Asking, especially businesses, asking businesses for financial contributions as an embassy, as protecting the interests of these businesses, I actually think it's normal. So the people who are getting upset about it, I actually don't even think it's as bad a thing compared to this Board of Peace thing, which I feel like is much it says something about the world that actually frightens me, right? That everything is everything is just money now. And the worst part about it is that you don't know if even if you pay $1 billion, if you really will get that kind of access that you think you might get. Because I mean, we had a trade surplus with the US, everything, we still got slapped with tariffs, right? So it's doesn't guarantee that just because you fulfill certain parameters that Trump won't wake up one day and just decide, okay, no, you're no longer my friend, and then I'm going to slap these tariffs on you.
But like what you said, right? The world has always been run by money. And maybe last time we were sold the Kool-Aid of Kumbaya,
That's true. Yeah. The problem is we grew up with that Kumbaya. We grew up thinking that this is what the US is and what the world is. This is how the world operates.
And countries should work together. But then I think even Bilahari had a recent post talking about the reality of international politics. I mean, when he came on our podcast, when we were asking what does diplomacy mean, he kind of mocked the meaning of, if you're a diplomatic person, means you're polite and all. He said, no, that's not diplomacy. And this is the scary thought. It's like finding out Santa doesn't exist, WWE is not real. This is the way the world operates. So, I don't know, man. That's why it's also interesting to see what the European countries that have been threatened with tariffs, if they go against Trump wanting to annex Greenland, how that's going to pan out. Because historically, over the past year, a lot of countries end up kowtowing.
Correct.
Because of tariffs. These tariffs are is the gold mine for Trump, man.
Now it's just being used as a weapon, right?
It's
a
very weapon.
Heavy hammer to deal any kind of body blow to countries that disagree with him.
But
I mean, at the same time, interestingly enough, Israel is actually unhappy with this Board of Peace thing. apparently they're not happy that Qatar and Turkey have been invited, and because Qatar and Turkey have according to them, have very strong ties to Hamas.
Yeah.
And were part of the problem, right, with Hamas. So the fact that this board of peace is going to be involved in the reconstruction of Gaza would, if you have the people who are sympathetic to Hamas there, then they can't fully eradicate Hamas, right?
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, like such a strong ally of Donald Trump and the US that doesn't seem to be supportive of this board of peace.
Yeah. I mean, in some way, like Trump is not being discriminatory in the sense that he also invited Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, right. True.
So it's almost like, telling Israel that if you really want to talk about peace, everybody does need to come together.
Yeah.
It's
so technically, if he never asked for the $1 billion and all that, you feel that it would be more positive?
I mean, feel more positive, except the fact that, again, it's very dependent on Trump, not the US president.
Yeah.
And that is the scary part.
Yeah,
it feels like his little boys club.
It's true. Yeah. It's like he's setting up a new Mar-a-Lago.
All the meetings will probably be held there. Right. So it just feels like it's too based on Trump as opposed to the role, and that's the scary part.
But again, isn't it like, we laugh about Trump hosting meetings at Mar-a-Lago or in Florida or whatever. But I mean, like, we're literally sitting here and then there's this bunch of really powerful elite people in Davos who are talking about the future of humanity. We know people who go to the Milken Institute and then they're like giving speeches on things that they don't know they don't jack shit about at all. And where we've always been told that, these people are brilliant, they're so smart, that's why they're there. And now the veil is off. It's all bullshit. It's all about money. It's all about who has the money to be at the table. Yeah. Isn't that just make things clearer for you? Like, you don't need to have these two basically understandings of how the world works. It's just the world's about money, and that's just how it is.
I mean, in some way that it's how you say, it's more honest. And sometimes, the annoying thing about politics and politicians, sometimes they say one thing but then they do another.
Yeah.
In this case, they are, there's probably stuff also under the surface, but it feels like if this is the surface, it's really quite revealing. And maybe it's because we grew up with the idea of international politics working this one way.
Yeah.
But the reality is this, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know.
It kind of reminds me of
scary.
Yeah, when I first went to the US, I was like so excited about it. I couldn't wait to go to the land of the free and the world of pop culture and MTV and everything.
Friends and all.
I remember my first day in Philadelphia, I think I didn't even dare to go out for dinner. I felt like I would get murdered just stepping out of the place. So all the image of, Manhattan and New York City, all that, or, the very cosmopolitan cities where everyone's like, as a melting pot of cultures, all that. In one night, I was like, I was completely drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah, same. I mean, when I landed at JFK Airport, I was like, wait. New York is supposed to be like the beating heart of the world. This is a fucking shithole. Right? Of course, we've also been spoiled by Singapore. Singapore Airport.
Yeah.
But, this whole the reality of the world going ahead, right, it is damn scary. It's damn scary. Yeah, can you imagine if Trump actually can pull off the Greenland thing? It's nuts.
And
what the hell does that mean? Like, if you're a big, powerful country, you can just say, okay, for the betterment of world safety, we need to own this land.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with it, we're just going to slap you with tariffs.
Yeah. But maybe this is what is needed to wake up, to wake all the European leaders up.
But true, being so dependent on the US for so long.
Because it is quite disgusting to see a lot of them just kowtowing to Trump and not speaking up strongly for their own interests and just almost letting the US just berate them at international events and all these things, right?
Yeah.
And not that they are faultless or what, but at the same time, got to show some backbone in these issues.
And I think it was Macron who mentioned that this might be the first and most important time to use this weapon, this trade bazooka weapon of the EU that has never been used before.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be a tool against anti-coercion.
Yeah.
As it is a tool against coercion.
Yeah.
So basically, it will impose counter tariffs on US exports.
Yeah, correct.
So it would be bad for both parties, but to a certain extent, it's almost like, okay lah, like, have to give credit to Macron to actually going against the grain lah.
Yeah.
Because it's damn weird to see all the most powerful people in the world kowtow to Trump until like that, giving their Nobel Peace Prize to them, FIFA coming up with a prize. It's just weird lah.
Like I've just been following like UFC. They're going to have a White House event. Like a UFC fight on the White House lawn.
It's crazy,
it's
man.
Such a strange reality that we live in now.
Yeah, it's crazy lah. And then it's just I mean, if you just step back, it's like a fun TV show to watch, but it's scary in terms of the future of the world.
It is.
How well?
But yes.
But cool.
I mean, besides talking about the world, we want to talk about our audience and what is your one Shiok comment.
Do you have yours?
Let me just pull up mine. I think it's the 𝘰𝘮𝘭𝘪𝘵𝘀 on when we talked about the Pritam issue said, I had my own shook moment when Terence gave an analogy of the NMP's change of partisanship as likened to a boy-girl relationship shift. Terence went, what the fuck? Upon discovering the boyfriend is attached the moment he broke up. I seldom hear Terence cussing enthusiastically. Rather, it's been a while. This should be put on record that it's my own shook moment for my weekly dosage of 𝘰𝘮𝘅. Thank you both for giving such a deep dive in this topic.
Oh, wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that was on which platform?
On YouTube.
YouTube. Mine is on Reddit from longtime commenter Raikota on the episode about Pritam versus Indrani, but it was about the second topic about the Bayfront MRT stopping dancers. I mean, the flip side is I think Marina Bay has now designated a specific area for dancers.
Yeah.
But this person's comment was, as a parent, I feel damn sad that invasive or hostile architecture is now a key part of our landscape. It's come up more in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But then they also pointed out that even at their own BTO multipurpose hall, there are things that just disrupt the open space lah. But they talked about the flip side of that is that they are amazed at the kids' creativity. So now where they stay, the kids are now using the barriers as permanent badminton nets, and the older kids are using them for parkour.
Yeah.
So in some way, if you look at the glass is half full thing, maybe all these new barriers is forcing people to be creative.
Parameters.
Yeah. When you give people constraints, it forces you to be creative.
Yeah.
I mean, so interesting thought lah.
Yeah.
And is Marina South MRT has added a new public dance area. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And what about your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing is there's an upcoming Netflix special where I think what's it called? I can't remember. But it's basically the free solo climber, Alex Honnold.
Oh.
He is going to attempt to scale Taiwan 101.
Taipei 101.
Taipei 101, the building in Taiwan with his bare hands. He's the guy who climbed the Yosemite without any ropes, without any safety harness or anything like that. A few years ago in the free solo documentary. And now he's going to attempt this event. And it's going to be live streamed on Netflix this Friday morning. So, maybe I'll just send a link to a CNN interview with him where he talks about what it takes to climb Taipei 101. And it's just interesting because they ask him questions about risk versus consequence, and he has very interesting thoughts about that. They ask him about, don't you think of your wife and your children when you're climbing this? And he has quite an interesting take on that as well. And I remember from the free solo documentary that he's not... I think his level of certain hormones when he gets when we experience something fearful like standing on the edge of a cliff, he actually has much less response than the normal human. Yeah, something like that.
So biologically,
he can deal with fearful and stressful moments a lot better than normal people.
But what was his answer about the child and parents thing?
He said that when I was climbing free solo, I just started dating this girlfriend who is now his wife. We're just dating for a few months, and I've been building up to climb El Capitan my whole life, 20 or 30 years. So, it's not possible that I would, for someone I've been dating a few months, say, I'm giving up my 20, 30-year dream to do this. But now, we've been married for a few years, we have kids and a relationship, then, it's a bigger consideration. So, he's just so...
mechanical.
Yeah, and so painfully honest about it is quite funny to watch.
Yeah. Oh, but the Taipei 101, there was the French rock climber Alain Robert also who climbed it in 4 hours.
Yeah, but all illegal, right? I think this one is
no, that was authorized.
Authorized, okay.
Yeah,
but this one,
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't live stream.
Live stream, so it'll be like helicopters around.
Oh my god,
like
this
Mission
is
Impossible.
Insane. This is insane.
So that'll be fun.
Insane. Okay.
And what's your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing is something in some way related to the second topic. Was a podcast by Ezra Klein on his podcast, the Ezra Klein Show. It's one of his most recent one. It's called "Has Trump Achieved a Lot Less Than It Seems?" And he interviews Yuval Levin, who is the director of Social, Cultural, and Constitutional Studies at American Enterprise, and written books on policy and political theory. And it's interesting because his stance, which was the same stance he took a year ago when Ezra Klein interviewed him, he said the thing about Trump's presidency, there's a lot of action, but in terms of fundamental change, right, there's actually not much. And basically what he's saying is that, Trump is signing a lot of executive orders, using the Emergency Act to do this, but the role of a president to push a country forward is changing policy and legislation. And Trump has done very little of that.
Yeah.
And he said, in some way, it's a sign that, what is the fundamental changes that are happening? Not much, but it is a sign of how politics might happen going forward. Where they don't really care about legislation. They just find a way to get what they want. So it was an interesting way of thinking about what Trump is doing now. Because if you think about it, he's not getting Congress or Senate approval for a lot of stuff. He's just saying, there's an emergency in this state. I'm going to deploy the National Guard. And it's nuts. It's nuts how he's doing. So interesting way of thinking about what Trump is doing.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Oh.
Midweek podcast down in the bag. If you enjoyed it, please share this with someone else who may not have heard of us. We also are putting out a lot more content on social media, so please follow us there. So TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, and Telegram. And if you want a weekly email where all our one Shiok things from that week are consolidated, you can sign up for your little bit at yalabat.com.
And if you want to work with us, please email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com or go to ministryoffunny.com and find the contact us page there.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you all soon.